Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Draw with T. We are at the penultimate episode, and while I wish I had something a bit more impressive to show you guys, today's episode is actually going to be pretty doodly, and I'm not even going to apologize for that because it's a really fun page to draw, and I think one of the lessons of this to take away is that it's okay to draw doodly stuff if you enjoy it. Sometimes it's even probably good. You know, you gotta do sometimes just that little wind down stuff. Not everything has to be big, grand, and epic. Although I do realize a lot of what I've drawn of late hasn't really been big, grand, or epic. I pinned that down to it being summer, and I would rather just be outside than inside drawing. Anyways, this page is just little doodly armor concepts. And it's just kind of a mix of some things I found on Pinterest, some other kind of reference stuff, and then just kind of jamming out near the end, doing my own thing. I just haven't drawn armor in a while, and honestly, I missed it. And when I was sitting down thinking I need to draw something for episode 99, what should it be? You know, what grand epic thing should I draw? And ultimately what I decided is I kind of just wanted to draw armor. You know, not even highly detailed good armor, nothing I'd hang on the wall, just sort of doodly little shape concepts, just kind of thinking about kind of a more humble armor design than, you know, a full plate knight. You know, maybe something with chainmail and a breastplate, you know, maybe an exposed gambeson, you know, simpler pieces of armor, bigger shields to make up for the simpler, less protective pieces of armor, just stuff like that. So here I am kicking it off just with a little doodle. Here I've got some kind of character with a massive shield on their right side there, which they probably don't need because they've got a fair amount of armor on them, but big shields are cool, and I just wanted to draw cool stuff for this. Now, I do also want to say that even though this page is not impressive compared to a finished drawing, or even some other sketch pages that I've done, I actually love it quite a bit, and I think for the next bit at least, I'm going to look back at this page and consider it one of my favorite pages, and it's almost kind of hard to explain why that is. I've drawn much better things in the past, and I know I'll draw much better things going forward, but there's just something about all the drawings on this page that I absolutely love, and I think it's because I drew them because I wanted to. And sometimes when I do art, it's for a utility, a purpose, you know, it's a means to an end, you know, an early concept to something finished later or exploring something else. But these were just drawn for the sake of that's what I wanted to draw. And they're very humble, they're very scratchy, they're not quite complete, they're a little bit wonky, but I kind of love them for that. You know, there's sort of room to imagine where the designs might go from these early concepts, and I like that. And I also just like how I dive in, and I'm not thinking too hard about anything in particular. I'm just thinking, you know, this character here, this ought to have some bigger shoulder plates as I'm sketching here, and maybe this one here will have an open-faced helmet or a big shield, or maybe I'll have some kind of texturing here or a helmet shaped like this. You know, what does this look like? What does it feel to draw that? And that's mostly what this page is and why it exists, and I quite like it for that. You know, it's just purely and rawly what I like to draw. I don't know if rawly is a word, but we're gonna go with it. You'll also notice that this is a shorter episode, or rather, one of my shorter episodes. I know in the past sometimes I've just let things, you know, go longer or at a slower speed, but, you know, I'd rather just make it short and sweet rather than dragging anything out. This series is nearly done. It's been fun. I've learned a lot. I'll probably shoot a retrospective on it if you guys are interested. But I'm ready to move on and try some other stuff, you know, present my art in other ways on YouTube, and I don't quite know what, but we'll see where it goes, and no point kind of drawing it out any longer than it needs to be. There really isn't a whole lot for me to say about this page. I mean, I'm drawing armor, I'm kind of just doodling whatever I want to see, and there's not really any tricks or anything that I'm doing here. I'm just having fun, and that's important to do. Though I'm not sure if anybody really suffers from this other than me. It seems to be kind of a more rare problem, but I do easily fall into traps where I start drawing things out of obligation or something I feel I should be doing, and I get away from drawing what I actually like, and I end up in a point kind of forgetting why I liked art and why I was drawing things in the first place until I get back and rediscover what I like to draw. And I kind of feel like this page was the start of that process where, I've been drawing things because I should draw, and, it's, I got this series I have to draw for, and, people want to see me draw stuff, but I don't really know what to draw. I don't really have anything in mind. It's just kind of, my art side has been kind of taking a nap, and it's kind of coming back now with some other stuff, but, I want to go and explore that other stuff rather than kind of making art for YouTube, which is the trap I kind of fell into. Just kind of, I got to make a page, or I got to make this many YouTube videos in this time, and that was a good challenge, but I'm ready for other challenges now. It was nice to draw art, page by page, little doodles, drawings, because I'd gotten away from that too, but now I want to bounce back into some bigger projects, things that are a lot harder to show any meaningful progress, especially on YouTube within like a week. So that's kind of what I'm going to be moving on to, and I maybe talk about that a little bit more when I'm closer to getting that project done. But for now, I'm just doodling some people in armor. Now I'm starting to work on a Tristan-like figure, and now I'm kind of thinking about, well, maybe what would her more crappy travel armor look like, maybe redesign that. And that's where this page got really fun, because I just started doodling whatever, and then I came back to something that was applicable, and that doesn't always happen, but when it does, it is very, very fun. And there is a certain looseness to all this art that I do actually enjoy, even though it wasn't intentional. I wasn't purposely trying to be loose and flowy and conceptual or anything. I was just drawing. I just didn't feel like getting deep into something and getting stiff on a drawing. I just wanted to doodle a bunch of stuff and then move on to something else that evening, but it's always fun to draw armor. I love drawing armor. I kind of forget that sometimes, that I just find raw pleasure in drawing people in armor. It's hard to think that's a thing now, because there was a time I was scared of armor, but not anymore. Now it's something I just go to, and I really like to do. Couldn't even tell you why. I think there's just something about the rigidity of armor that I find much more fun to draw than subtle, squishy human shapes. Armor has kind of an anatomy to it, like bones, and both of those are things I really like to draw and really feel like I understand, at least better than like muscles and stuff when I draw them. Anyways, guys, hope you have liked this series, and I hope you guys stick around for whatever I decide to do next. I will be taking a break. But, if you're new here, I do have like 98 other episodes of this. If you'd like to go back and watch them, feel free to do so. And if you're crazy, like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you in the final episode of How to Draw with T. Have a good one, guys.